All right, so let's go ahead and take a little black pill in terms of the industry of sales. So, sales is obviously something that is highly derived from extroversion, something that is highly dependent on making a good first impression. And what really enters into play here? Well, it's the good old black pill, that oblong horse pill that is very, very hard to swallow. So let's go ahead and dive into the role of women coming into sales and really taking this shit over. Okay, so I have known some very, very, very incompetent women. I've known some competent women too. And, between the competent and the incompetent women, there is really no marked difference in their results when it comes to sales. A lot of these women on the incompetent side, they do not try at all. They do not show up. They do not follow through. They don't follow up. But they just get meetings on meetings on meetings and a cascade of male managers who are just very excited to go on lunch meetings, office meetings, any type of FaceTime, Teams call with these attractive women. And, I know the male managers resent it, and they will talk bad about these, female sales reps, whether it's medical device, software, staffing, you name it. These female sales reps clean up. They're always like 10 out of 10 of the top performers in any given company when it comes to, outside sales. And, it is because they get their foot in the door. When I was working, as an outside sales rep, I would message, male managers like, hey, let me drop by and blah, 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 and explain to you our product and da, 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 da. And, a female sales rep, attractive, right next to me in the next, desk, she would send basically the same message on the same day, and the guy would say, no, we're not looking for any change. Please don't contact me again. And then she would contact him and he would go, oh, we are in desperate need of a change. I am so glad you contacted me. I've been waiting for someone with this line of business to reach out to me and to create a meeting. And so anytime you name it, I'll be there. and our boss would be like, wow, look at you. You're really putting in the work. Heights or Norma, you should be more like her. You got to put in the work to make these sales. And it's like, yeah, definitely. I'll try to work harder at, being a good looking female. And, it's an unspoken thing. Nobody can mention this. Nobody's allowed to notice this. Noticing is, obviously a hate crime. And so, and the world continues to turn. And, literally at that company, 10 out of the top 10, they were all, attractive women. Blonde hair, brown hair, black women, Asian women, Latina women, whatever, it didn't really matter as long as they brought that attractiveness to the table. The male clients would come in, and then also the female clients, the female prospects, they want to be able to have that girl talk. They want to be able to have a non-threatening, quote unquote, environment of a vendor. They want to have somebody who's sort of on that female wavelength with them, who can talk to them and who can, make them feel good. And so it just continues, and so they definitely have an advantage with the males, and they certainly have an advantage with the female prospects as well, because, it's just, I mean, when is the last time you went, you called a corporate number to try to, get customer support, and the, you know, automated menu was a male voice. It's a female voice because that is the future of what people want to hear. It calms their nerves, There is definitely a trade-off where, like, in certain scenarios, females definitely, there's a bias against them. There's a bias against them where they sound less competent. High voices sound less competent to people. The sort of Valley Girl uptalk does sound less competent by its very nature. It sounds like it's a question, like, okay, so are we going to do this? It's a question type of tone, but all of those cognitive biases are overwhelmed by the elephant of cognitive biases in the room, which is the female magic, and attractive to barely attractive, as long as they're not considered a troll by society, they're going to clean up. They're going to wipe the floor with your ass. And that's just the way that it is. And so, I continue to see this to this day. And like, it's kind of too bad for females because, like, their dating pool shrinks as they become more and more successful. And they become very, very resentful if their, man is not making more money than they do. They get very resentful. They feel like they must not be worth a dime because they can't find someone to sweep them off their feet and take care of them. But at the same time, we're all humans. We have the motivation to succeed. And if it's just going to be handed to you on a silver platter, and don't get me wrong, a lot of these women work absolutely hard. They work their fingers to the bone. But at the same time, there's, a slightly more attractive girl who's working her fingers not at all, and she cleans the floor with the conscientious, normie chick, And so, you can be a female, you could be a 6, and you could be working 80 hours a week, and there could be a girl who's a 7.5 working 20 hours a week, and she is just going to dominate. She is just so much privilege going on. It is just a whole different spectrum of easy mode, to be a female in sales, in many ways you're on easy mode anyway. To be like a 9 out of 10, dude, like, you just have to do the bare minimum and you're going to be a legend in that company. You're going to be a legend. And, I think this is a real big factor in the Blackpill that nobody really notices, nobody really acknowledges. And, you really got to be in sales particularly to, to understand the power of the box when it comes to this, It is really a whole different ballgame. They, just the ease in which they connect, you don't have to have good social skills, you don't have to have persistence, you don't have to be convincing. Your looks are convincing everybody before you even open your mouth. Just don't mess it up, And so, we got to be real with ourselves. If this was me, if this was you, we would not forego these opportunities either. Just like how these girls make OnlyFans and, they make more than a doctor. This is just life now. And as our society continues to sort of Jamaicanize and we continue to be very sex driven and very, very, booty driven and twerk driven and very, very, lack of law and order and just complete, degeneracy. This stuff is going to accelerate to levels that you won't even believe. And don't think for a second that there is going to be a moment of clarity spontaneously happening outside of the Blackpill, where this stuff's not going to be justified. This stuff will be justified to the hilt. There will be non-fiction books written by feminists of the chosen tribe, and they're going to be telling you, what happened to men? Like, why aren't they doing well, making money anymore? Why is there a pay gap, double of what men make, women are now making in 2060. Why? you know, and the elephant in the room is just never going to be noticed. And if you think it is, then just watch and just see if your prediction really holds water.